Welcome to our first episode of the Teardown. Today we're going to be looking at the internals of a Bluetooth headset. You're probably familiar with these devices, mostly want to have hands-free conversation, usually used while driving or doing some other kind of activity where you don't want to use your hands. So in this particular model, which is from Plantronics, you can see the control on this side for volume. That button is to answer calls. The white transparent hook is to make sure that you hook it onto your ear and it stays in place. And the soft rubber pad there is to make sure that it has a snug fit in your ear, and that of course encloses the earpiece. So that covers the external components, or at least what's visible to the user. What we're going to do is try to open up the device and see what's inside. What makes this work? How does it work? This unit from Plantronics is in good condition, so I'm not going to tear that down, but we'll give the teardown treatment to this older model that I have from Nokia. The components are largely the same, with the earpiece, the rubber padding, the mic at the front, and the charger port at the back. It's also working, but the heat seems to have affected some of the rubber surfaces. This touchpad allowed for answering of calls. Now that is completely destroyed, and as you can see, a little sticky. So now let's tear this apart and see what the internals are like. First, let's remove the earpiece cover. You could see the little speaker in there. There's a button there for reset and other functionality. So first off, let's remove the rubber padding. As you can see, it's crumbling due to the heat. It's a little icky, but yeah, let's get rid of that. With the rubber padding out of the way, you can see the plastic plate, which also makes contact with the buttons on the inside. Since there are no screws, this probably just snaps on, so let's try to separate it from the base. Okay, we finally have it out. As you can see, it's a pretty simple, straightforward plastic plate. It has a good deal of flex, which makes sense given that this would make contact with the button and would also press when pushed by the user. Alright, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the base unit. As you can see, there is a green circuit board and also the button, which makes contact with the plastic plate that we removed. What I'm removing now is a quality control sticker. So usually devices like this, when the individual components go through testing, if it passes the required tests, a sticker is stuck on it to say that it passed all the tests. Next up, let's try to get the PCB out of the way, the PCB being the green circuit board, so that we could look at what components lie beneath it. As you can see, there are no screws. The construction is just snap fit together. Okay, now that we finally have it out, we can look at some additional circuitry and components. So up front is the mic. This is soldered onto the board, and in terms of placement, it's placed at the front tip of the Bluetooth headset. So when you speak, audio gets picked up on it. The green color board that you see, which I'm referring to as the circuit board or the PCB, is basically the logic unit for this. It controls all the circuitry and is pretty much the heart of the functionality of your Bluetooth headset. The silver color pouch that you see here is probably a lithium battery or some form of battery. It's how the unit charges and stores its power and then distributes it to its various components internally. Let's try to separate the battery from the PCB. I'm probably gonna need some help here, so let me fish out a screwdriver to wedge that out. There you go. And now we have the battery part of this Bluetooth headset separated. So the silver battery unit is enclosed in this light orange plastic. It's probably to keep it safe and make sure that there is no discharge from the battery to the other components. There is also some black components there, which is probably some control units for the battery. If you've ever wondered how one of these things work, here it is, finally demystified. Hopefully you can get a good close look of the PCB right now, because that's pretty much it. It's just a mic, speaker, a couple of buttons, a battery, and all of it held together and controlled by the circuit board. We hope you're enjoying content like this about everyday gadgets that we use and what's inside them. Please feel free to share your comments, tell us what you think, what you would like to see, and we'll try to make it happen. Do subscribe to our channel and tell all your friends about us.